introducing a new paradigm of NFTs. And historically, NFTs have started with common examples such as CryptoPunks, then Axie Infinity, Ethereum name service, and land now, like Decentralized or Sandbox. But really, even though the design has changed, like they look better now, they have more utility, but the actual NFT by itself is still the same since like 6 years ago. And all it is really a receipt that proves your ownership of something, right? And that something isn't even stored on the blockchain most of the time. So, NFTs as an investment, they're pretty cool, right? They have crazy returns. You can make like 1,000x on an NFT. You don't really have that with tokens, even in crypto. You have cool communities that stay engaged even in bear markets. And yeah, and pretty much everyone loves NFTs, right? It's like, you don't really have to be a coder, a degen or whatever. It's like, the average Joe on the street probably owns or heard about NFTs. Even on goddamn radio in Berlin, they talk about NFTs all the time. I don't know why. But NFTs are also bad as an investment, right? They're great, they have great returns, but they're also super illiquid, right? It's super hard to sell an NFT. And the fundamentals are, there's no revenue stream, really. It's all about like, ooh, who likes this art? Who thinks this punk is beautiful? Who loves the cigarette in the mouth? I don't know, it's really arbitrary, right? And even though there's a fixed supply of the collection maybe, so you have like 900 punks, for example, or 9,999 Axie Infinity NFTs, whatever, you still don't know how much the artist actually will produce. And that's like a very, very important part in art, right? As soon as an artist dies, the art will become exponentially more valuable because now there's a fixed supply. There's no more art to come from that artist. And so most NFTs, they follow a pretty similar lifespan, like 99% of NFTs, I would say. Most of them start with minting of obscure NFTs, right? You don't know really what you're buying. You're minting a concealed NFT. And then it gets released. You'll know, oh, shoot, I got this stupid zombie NFT, whatever. I really wanted the one with the hat. So a lot of people dump when the release happens. And then it's super boring. There's some people coming into the community, some are leaving. Not a lot is happening. But at some point, there will be like a huge NFT craze for an NFT, usually. And it rises like 10x, 100x in its lifetime. But as that happens, even the most convinced community members will start to dump their NFTs because they just made hundreds of thousands of dollars because of their work for that NFT project, because they contributed to the community, built for it, got other people excited about the NFT or whatever, and now they will sell too. And everyone will, because they realize, well, it was, after all, just a stupid Bored Ape, right? There's nothing behind it. It's just the community. And as soon as they start to leave, there's the fall. And everything goes to zero. And so the artist usually then decides to build a new project, thus increasing the supply and lowering the price even more. And even as I said, the most convinced people will even leave after the apeshit phase, right? Because it's so crazy money that they make, they will leave. Because cash rules everything around me, right? It's a great quote. And there's an inherent interest conflict in NFTs. So you have a lot of investors that just try to make profit off of NFTs. So they buy an NFT, hold on to it maybe for a week, maybe they flip it right after the release, or when the apeshit phase comes, right? And those usually don't provide a lot of value to the community. They just buy it, hold on to it, never go to the Discord, interact with other community members, or do anything else good, right? But then you also have the community members, those that contribute, those that do the art, those that try to collaborate with other projects, get other people on board, just do good stuff for the overall community and for the collection itself. But as you can imagine, those investors that are dumping and selling the NFTs, they don't really are aligned with the community builders, right? They don't add value. What they do, they take value. They sell it at the high, and then everyone gets nervous thinks they will lose a lot of money, and then they will also sell. And yeah, so what we came up with is a method of aligning those incentives of the different stakeholders that we have. And we call that NFT 2.0. What we're doing is we start backing the NFTs with hard currencies, such as US dollars, maybe even inflation-resistant currencies, right? It could be anything. It could be gold, it could be silver, whatever you want, right? As long as you have it on the blockchain, you can back an NFT with it. And that creates security. Because if an NFT is always worth $100, if you can always redeem it for $100, it would never go below $100. There's no reason it would be, right? Just send it back to the protocol and get your $100. And through various fees that we raise, the backing will only ever increase, right? So you might have trading fees. We have a money market that also accrues fees. So the backing only goes up. You will always be able to redeem your NFT for a higher amount of dollars. And those trading fees, they counter speculation, right? Because the higher the trading fee, the less profitable it is in the short term to sell your NFT again for a profit. So let's say you have 10% trading fee, then the NFT would have to rise about 20% for it to make sense and cash out for a profit. But realistically, you probably want it for like 30% higher and stuff. So, and if those accrue to the backing, what happens is that the speculators essentially pay for you being able to redeem your NFT at a higher price. So the floor price, the minimum price, is only going up. The more speculators you have, the higher it's going to go up. And now the community builders, right? The ones that we really liked in our NFT. They don't have to sell when everyone else sells, right? They don't have to fear to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars anymore. Because most of the dollars, most of the value that they created went back into the backing. So they can always redeem it. So even if the NFT might go down like 30%, that's okay, right? But if I own an NFT that I bought for 1,000, now it's worth 300,000, I might lose 300,000. That sounds like a bad deal, right? I would get rid of that. But if it can only go down to a couple thousand less, well, that's a different story, right? Because I really like the community maybe I'm in. I like the value I provide. And with native money markets, what we can do that within the backing, there's obviously money locked away, right? Those dollars that we might have in there, they're locked. They're not doing anything. Inflation is just slowly crumbling away all of that nice value that you have in there. So every NFT is backed by a certain amount of money, and that money's lying around. So what if we lend it out to you? Right? If you really want to speculate on it, if you want to have your 100,000 that are in the backing of your Bored Ape, then you can have that. You can borrow that money that is just lying around. And we raise an interest rate on that. And that interest rate, because it's kind of a risk to give you money, no offense, that interest rate is going back into the backing for everyone else. So the more risk you take on, the more you benefit the community. And if you cannot pay back the loan, all that happens is we will resell your NFT, and the difference between the resale price and the backing of the NFT, that's pure profits. And that profit is going back to every other community member. So everyone profits from the speculators. And overall, it's like, if you have high trading fees, there's not a lot of volatility going on. There's not a lot of volatility in terms of price, but there's also less volatility in terms of emotions, in terms of community members leaving, in terms of excitement, building, whatever. It's a very sustainable way of building NFTs and crypto. And I think what we can do is create a more sustainable crypto ecosystem for NFTs. Instead of building on hype, building on unsustainable gains, what we can do is we can support the community. We can support those that build the NFTs, those that are valuable for the community, not the ones that sell it at 20x. Those investors, right? We don't want to make A16Z happy. No. We hate VCs. So we want to make the community builders happy. Those that actually give value, not the ones in it for profit. And that's why this is what it will look like. Instead of the crazy up and then to basically zero. And it's a win for everyone. And especially for NFT economies, such as metaverses or like Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example. Right? Every NFT that builds on a community and it's not just a pure collection of art. For those, the community incentivization is huge. And so I wanted to thank you for listening to my presentation. I would strongly encourage you to check out NFT 2.0. The white paper will be out like next week, end of next week probably. We'll see. And yeah, maybe grab a beer with me at the bar. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, guys.